confidence among home builders in New York State. Emily Sullivan, NPR News, Washington.
Checking the numbers, the Dow dropped 507 points to 23,592. The NASDAQ was down 156 points. The S&P 500 fell 54 points. This is NPR.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it.
Well, how are you doing tonight, Guru?
I'm doing fantastic.
Fantastic.
And we are a week out from Christmas.
That's right.
It's almost here. Have you done your shopping yet?
Well, I'm trying to get it done.
You're trying?
Yeah.
Time's a ticking.
I hope no one, pardon me, I hope no one is suffering with shipping like I am. Maybe you're not. So I'm hoping you're not. Guru, so you're doing well tonight.
Yes.
And it's a busy Monday already as far as news goes. Lots come in. Lots has just happened recently in the last hour. And so Guru and I have been up here earlier, not on the air, but we've been prepping for some things that are coming up soon. And just working on the show stuff. So, if you want to join the show today, it's 256-782-5600. And you're welcome to be a part of the show, or questions at heytechieshow.com. You also can visit us at heytechieshow.com and find all the ways to connect with us, and we'd be glad to have you do that. This is the Hey Techie Show here on a Monday, and we're so glad to have everybody in. Now, we have some headlines we want to get to right off the bat. iOS 12.1.2 released to the masses. Apple releases their latest iOS software that is said to have improvements and fixes such as cell connectivity in Turkey, changes related to Qualcomm patents, and eSIM activation for 10R and 10S handsets. This point release comes only a week after its beta version. 12.1.2 released to the iPhone product line at this time. Far out. That's the nickname given to the furthest solar system body ever discovered, first spotted by the Subaru 8-meter telescope in Hawaii. 2018 VG18 is considered a pinkish dwarf planet that is located 120 AU from our sun. For a bit of perspective, Pluto is 34 AU, and 1 AU is the distance between our Earth and the sun. Moving slowly, it takes an estimated 1,000 years for one orbit around the sun.
All right, back to Earth here. Cable One, our local cable provider here in Cayuga County, announced last week that it'll be rebranding itself as Sparklight beginning the summer of 2019. Julie Lawless, I guess that's how you pronounce it, the Cable One president CEO, says this change reflects its transformation as a traditional cable company into a full-service provider that connects customers to the things they care about. And as part of this rebranding, the company will also be streamlining its residential internet service plans and pricing. Also, this past week, the California Public Utilities Commission recently issued a report on the possibility of a text tax. This tax would be in the form of a flat fee added to a monthly bill for cell phone users. The revenue generated from this tax would go towards programs to make phone service available to low-income residents. The vote was expected in January 2019. However, the scheduled vote has been withdrawn from its January meeting agenda. This came after the Federal Communications Commission declared text messaging to be an information service, not a telecommunications service, and thus not subject to a surcharge under California law. And those, my friends, are the headlines.
There we go. Well, that's it. That's very interesting. I had seen the previous news article, and it was everywhere. Oh, there's going to be a tax in California on internet, tax on the internet, tax on the internet. And it looks like the
this is text on text. This was a tax on texting.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm texting. I apologize because I'm getting two
A
things.
texting tax.
No. I'm getting two things confused. There's another story about taxing internet companies that I've got later on in the show. But yeah, a tax on texting.
Yeah, that alone, I was like, oh man, this would be something really good to talk about. But then the latter half of the week, this FCC news hit about them declaring it an information service, not telecommunications.
The hated FCC.
The FCC said, not so fast.
Yeah. Made a decision that said, it's information service. You can't really tax it. And so they had to back off.
I get, given access to these mobile connectivity to those who don't have the means to afford it. I get that because it's almost, you're at a huge disadvantage without it.
This is just a money grab.
But
sorry.
Well, it may be.
I don't know. I mean, I know what they're saying, and I've read the stories.
But this article, this is the article we'll put in the show notes here from AL.com. This was when was this posted? Probably December 12th. So it was soon after the show ended last week. The amount of the tax was not released, but opponents said the charges could equal some $44.5 million a year.
Yeah,
a figure that could rise to $220 million if fees are applied retroactively for 5 years, as called for in the plan.
California, I mean,
yeah, but yet another tax. I mean, how many taxes do we have already on our cell phone bills?
It's outrageous.
I mean, I have to go back and look at my bill, but there's at least 3 that I'm aware of.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, if it's more than one, it's outrageous.
Yeah, proponents of this were saying that the additional revenue needed to cover the cost of, like I said, it's called the Public Purpose Program, which provides cell phones to low-income people. The budget of that program has risen from $670 million in 2011 to $998 million last year. So that's
but there's a way to fix that.
What's that?
They don't have to do all of that. I mean, there is a way to fix that.
Yeah, and then like I said in the latter part of that headline about the FCC stepping in and saying, not doing that because of how they deem texting as an information service and not a how'd they call it, a telecommunications service.
Right. Yeah, well, sure. I mean, they want to be able. I mean, they would love out there in Cali to call it whatever they want to, so they can tax it.
Yeah, they'll figure out how to change the law. I mean, if that's what they truly want, but we'll see.
Well, now,
go ahead.
Those people in leadership want that, but not everybody wants.
Oh, I know. I mean, the folks in leadership, the folks that want the money,
that'll affect them the least.
But at least for now, people in California won't get it for now. So we'll see how that rolls.
Right.
But one thing I want to, let's backtrack a little minute. This is not really a headline, but sort of a headline. So I talked to Mr. Adam Gooseby.
Yeah,
we had him on the show
absolutely.
A while back in his robotics team. Caught up with him this past week, and back at the 1st of December, his robotics team went to South Best at Auburn. Well, they ended up placing 10th place in their division.
Wow! Congratulations.
So bravo to. I wish I'd had that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, bravo to them.
Yeah, so I was extremely proud. I was like, that is awesome.
It is.
And Adam, told me we were going to give them a shout out on the air, so maybe they're listening, maybe they're not. But great job to the Pleasant Valley High School robotics
That's right.
team.
All those students did fantastic. Absolutely.
And they, he was telling me about, they went around like some of the, like their marketing presentation. I think that part they didn't have to compete in, but some of the marketing folks went to South Best with the rest of the team that was competing, because they were checking out like some of the other marketing booths from the teams that were there competing in that part.
Oh, okay.
To get ideas going forward for next year. So they're like a sponge trying to absorb all this information and get best practices from what they're seeing from other teams. So,
well, I am so glad they got to go.
Yeah.
I know they had a great time. I'm sure they did.
So, congratulations, Adam Gooseby, and
absolutely.
All your students. And
absolutely
look forward to having them back on the show next year, for sure. Anyway,
well, we hope you're all doing well tonight. And I know the guru and I are doing well, but we forgot to mention something.
What's that?
Bruce is not here tonight. We are totally Bruceless.
Got so tied up in the show.
Yeah, we totally forgot about him. Well, Bruce sends his hello and how are you, and
He misses us. We miss him.
and he sends all his holiday greetings to you all here, our wonderful audience of the Hey Techie Show. And we're so glad to have you here in with us tonight. Now, I know there are a few Amazon stories I have in my stack. So there's going to be a stack of Amazon stuff coming up,
Okay.
including my own personal frustrations. And I don't want to give it away too much, but I think it may be further than Amazon. Amazon has partners that it has to deal with, and sometimes your partners let you down in situations. So I think that's part of the issue.
Well, don't give it all away.
I'm not giving it all away, but I think it's part of the issue. When the Hey Techie Show comes back, we will talk about that and much, much more. Don't go away and call somebody who's not listening and say, Hey Techie Show's on. Be right back. Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show. As we get closer and closer to Christmas.
Yeah, we need to mention next Monday night, Christmas Eve.
Yes, sir.
The Hey Techies Christmas Extravaganza.
That's right.
You may think, what is that? We're just gonna play Christmas music, and we're gonna cut in a few times and talk. But
Yeah,
mainly Christmas music
Christmas music
from 7 to 9.
That's right. And hope you will be around if you're wanting some Christmas music.
Yeah, we got
it's going to be a variety of
it's a variety
genres,
for sure, because all of us have
some of our favorite Christmas music.
All of us had some input in that, Bruce included.
Right.
So yeah, please check it out.
Yeah.
Only on
91.9.
91.9 and streaming JSU.edu
That's
slash
right.
radio. Will not be a podcast, unfortunately. We don't have the rights to create a podcast. of
Correct.
Music, other people's work. So, but yeah, catch it live if you can. And it may, will it play again the next?
I do not
Monday?
know. That is a good question.
It may play on New Year's Eve. Maybe
I'm not.
We'll
We're
be in
not
the- we'll be in
sure
the
how
tw-
it's going to work out, but it's very possible.
if it does. Well, it was part of we're in the 12 days of Christmas. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good
Anyway.
point. Well, I had spoke about Amazon, and
you teased it here before.
they're in the news, and they've been in the news for a while, but they're certainly in the news last couple of days. And but I'm having my own issues with Amazon.
Oh,
Yeah, I've got a package that's in limbo.
Jeff Bezos, I hope you're listening.
Yeah, he's not. And I don't think chatting with the app is getting Bezos on the line. It's just,
Now, so you said chatting with the app. Have you actually talked to a human?
I've chatted at this point.
Chatted? Okay.
Yes.
That's what I usually do with Amazon.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably gonna have to call eventually, but they keep asking me to wait. The first time I talked to them, because the app says the product had been delivered. Now, it wasn't delivered to my home. It was delivered somewhere else.
Yeah.
And to the business. And there's a lot of buildings related to the college. And so it said signed, and it didn't have a person's name. It had capital D building.
Signed. The building.
Yeah,
D-A apostrophe.
No, just D.
Well, it's short for the D-A apostrophe.
Yeah, building.
The building sign for it.
All right, all in uppercase. And I'm like, well, I really don't know that building.
I'll know a person by a D building. If it was a person. We don't have a building D.
Well, I don't know.
So what day did they say it was delivered? Let's back up, because today, as the day the show is airing, is December 17th.
Well, it was said the Thursday.
So the 13th.
Yeah. But Amazon, at the time I contacted them, they said, no, that's a misscan.
A misscan.
Yeah. So I needed to wait till Friday.
Okay. So
I needed to wait till the end. So this was the chat. Need to wait till Friday.
The 14th.
Yeah. So I waited. They said the reason you got to wait till Friday is because that's when it was scheduled delivery.
Okay.
So
all right, fine. Well, fair enough.
Went back, chatted with them again on Friday,
on the 14th. So
you need to wait till the end of the day.
So did you go back and get with them at the end of the day?
The carrier says, wait to that. Well, so I went back at the end of the day.
Okay.
Talked to them again. Said, well, I can't remember exactly how it was put. Well, you need to call the carrier or something. I'm like, well, no, wait a minute. Wait,
I bought this from you.
Yeah, there you go. Wait a minute. I didn't ship it. You shipped it. If you shipped it, you call the carrier.
Yeah, and in the past, even stuff to my home through Amazon, where it's gotten like it didn't arrive on the day it said it arrived, and it was in limbo, I guess you could say. And I've gotten on the chat before with Amazon. It's been a couple years ago, but they said, "Hang on while we contact the carrier." So they
Well, that's what they told me.
They did that for me. I didn't have to call the shipper or the carrier or whatever. So did they actually call the carrier after you told them
I'm trying to get previous messages. Well, They say they have.
And what did the carrier say?
The first few times they said the carrier was telling them that it wasn't delivered, that it was a misscan. But now I haven't. The latest is I contacted somebody today, and we went through the whole deal, and actually I don't see the latest. This is the previous couple of days. I don't have today's history for some reason.
Oh, they purged it.
I don't better not have. That's not going to be good on their part.
So, but do you recall what was discussed today?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically they were telling me that the package, they would check with the carrier and get back to me. So they're going to investigate it and have the carrier investigate it where it's at. and get back to me. So that's the latest I've heard.
So it's like, don't call us. We'll call
But
you.
the problem is, I was told that I need to be patient through the 20th because they said they'll get it to me by the 20th for sure, guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Well, I thought they.
They're
I thought they guaranteed about the 14th.
Well, right.
And,
So,
and I
but
think
what's
we
really irritating
okay. Go ahead.
to me about the whole thing, and it could be that the shipper is not. I don't know who's not doing their job. That's the problem. But, pardon me, I ordered it on the 4th.
Wow, the 4th. And so let me ask you this: so was it fulfilled by Amazon, or was it fulfilled by?
We talked. Yes.
So it was something Amazon fulfilled.
Yes.
Because some of the things you can buy on Amazon are. Some of them are Amazon sold and fulfilled.
Yeah,
some are sold by another company but fulfilled by Amazon. So like,
we talked about this last week a little bit.
I guess that inventory Amazon has in their warehouse.
It's a sold by Amazon product. Now, different product that is not sold by Amazon, I got just fine.
That's what I'll say. The third thing is when it's completely third party and it's handled by another company. But this was sold by Amazon.
Yes.
Okay. And are you a Prime member?
No. No,
we've said that we've asked that on the show before. But
no, and
I just have an inkling. Like, I wonder if they're doing different levels of service for Prime and non-Prime.
One
members.
would wonder.
But
I don't have enough evidence to prove.
Oh, I know. I'm just curiosity. I don't want to accuse Amazon of anything here because there's no evidence to prove either way.
And hopefully this will all be resolved because I really want this. This is going to be a great present.
Well,
I'm really excited about.
It's one of the unfortunate gotchas of e-commerce.
Oh, I know. I'm hoping it doesn't get really bad where I have to try to cancel the whole thing and go buy it some other way. I mean, because if that's the case, it's just not going to be good. I'm not going to be. I'm really not going to be happy about that.
I know,
because that's going to cost me probably another $100.
Oh,
yeah.
Ooh.
So
patience is a virtue.
Well, it's something. It's something. But on the Amazon front, they are having several issues. Besides the one I'm dealing with.
That's their top issue right now is getting the Chief Techies package to them.
Right. And apparently in Minnesota, they have a fulfillment center there in Minnesota. I think you say this Shakopee, Shakopee, Minnesota.
Sounds good to me.
Shakopee. Apparently, this town has a high number of, and I don't want to mess this up, so I'm gonna look down. Apologize. It was right here. I don't want to just say Muslims because they're Somali Americans.
Okay.
And a lot of them are from that area, and a lot of them are Muslim. And one of the big problems that they're protesting now.
Oh,
the workers left the other day.
Okay.
And they're protesting out, and they've been protesting, and then they get asked to leave and so forth and so on.
Like protesting while on the job or something?
Well, actually, they're protesting off the job. They get off work and they protest out front.
Okay.
And part of it's been closer. It's a fulfillment center. Part of it's been very close. Part of it's been, they've moved different places around the fulfillment center. The police have been called in, and all of it's been peaceful, according to an article that I've read.
Yeah.
The police get confused about whether these are protesters or whether the people getting off work trying to leave. That's been a little bit confusing.
Okay.
Because I don't think everybody's protesting, but there are many.
But there's people trying to leave the facility after they work.
And they seem like they're a part of, yeah.
Okay.
It says, let's say the United States is home to the largest population of Somalis besides Yemen. Sorry. And, this has been reported before, similar to this, in Gizmodo back in June. They had a situation.
So what's the reason that they're
part of it is they feel like they feel like that they're treated unfairly.
Okay.
They not get paid enough. They're treated unfairly. They're made to work ridiculous hours, very few breaks. They have
Mhm.
a litany list. One of the most particular ones that bothers them is they don't feel like they have prayer breaks.
Okay.
Muslims, they pray so often and they
Right.
don't feel like they have prayer breaks. However, Amazon has replied and said that they do allow up to 20-minute prayer breaks that are paid for by the company, according to them. They
Okay.
said prayer breaks less than 20 minutes are paid, and productivity expectations are not adjusted for such breaks. But they said that unpaid prayer breaks can be taken for over 20 minutes, but it would adjust productivity expectations.
Oh, so if it's less than 20 minutes, you can take it and the company will pay for that time, but they don't you're still expected to maintain a certain level of productivity.
That's what I understand. That's
Okay.
what I'm understanding. Yes.
And then if you take a longer one, you're not paid for it.
Right.
And they adjust your productivity accordingly.
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm gathering from it too. And that's just one thing. The other things, like I said, were like they claim there's not enough bathroom breaks. I don't know. I don't do it. I've heard that before. I've heard
this is not new territory for
Amazon.
Yeah.
No. Let's say this is fulfillment center is a 850,000 square foot structure, according to this.
There's a large one in Atlanta. Well, on the outskirts of Atlanta, like if you're going to the airport and you come in
right
on the east side of, well, I guess west. You're going east. The way if you're on this part of the state going into the airport, and you go kind of the Camp Creek Parkway, there's a fulfillment center there. I don't know how big it is, but I mean, they have these things scattered all over the country.
Let's see. There was one more pull quote here. I'm trying to find.
I wonder if I'm assuming Amazon's workforce in their fulfillment centers is not union.
No, they've been trying to union. They're
Yeah.
looking at several states, actually, I think, that have Amazon there. They're trying to unionize, from what I understand.
Yeah.
It says here, let's see if I can get this person's name. It looks like City Hall. Let's see. All right. So one person who was at this rally, I think it was, came out, and I think they got a quote from them. This person says, "We have asked the company to provide air conditioning."
Okay.
She explained to the crowd, but they told us that robots inside can't work in the cold weather. Now,
What?
that seems far-fetched to me. I just never heard.
Usually robots can handle that temperature range.
I would say electronics work better in the cooler weather. They don't get as hot.
And if you're expected,
I guess if it's below zero, but we're not, air conditioning's not going to be below zero. Where do they get it?
No, I mean, you're not like,
it'd be like a freezer cooler.
They're not trying to fulfill like, frozen foods or something. I don't think Amazon's in that business yet.
Yeah. Well,
they have Whole Foods, but that's different.
I'd be curious to know, A, if that really happened. It seems unrealistic. Or B, if the person that said it to this person knows anything about what they're talking about, or has the ability to even say whether they could use air conditioning or not. It just, that's open-ended. It doesn't make sense. Nobody in tech would say that knows anything about technology. Matter of fact, heat is the enemy of most things like this.
Oh, yes.
Rather than cool.
That's why, like data centers, you have to pump additional cooling into that room, because the heat generated, like if you have a data center and like the cooling for the equipment fails to function, like that equipment's going to quit running quickly.
I could actually see more of a humidity problem causing issues with a particular product working like that. Then I could see the cool and the hot being a more, and of course that will cause that. But I'm just saying, I would think they would have to moisture control as much as anything.
They probably have that. It's just not, they're trying to draw the moisture out of the air.
Right.
But not.
Well, anyway,
HVAC doesn't necessarily always mean cool.
No, I know. I understand that.
Because anytime you got a large structure,
conditioning.
It's just, because you don't want high humidity when you've got a bunch of products that could be affected by it. I mean, just anything in general.
Right. And along with that, another article talks about how Amazon faces boycotts. And I'm sure they've had these off and on. They said ahead of holidays, this is a headline, Amazon faces boycotts ahead of holidays as public discontent grows.
Oh.
And part of this is the idea that Amazon does not treat their workers correctly. Now, I've never worked for Amazon, and
No.
I'm not speaking for them one way or the other. I'm not defending them one way or the other. I'm just reporting what I'm seeing. And some people believe that they're not treated very well, and some of them seem to have some data that may back that up as well.
Yeah.
And this is a fairly long article. I read part of it, but I'm not. It's more of an opinion piece than anything. So it'll be in the show notes. But I mean, it's an ongoing thing that Amazon is facing issues that they seem to not be able to clear up for some reason. Or one thing that is interesting in this article, and one of the reasons why it says last year 76% of Americans who shopped online for Christmas presents said that they plan to do most of that on Amazon, and that was last year's numbers.
Yeah.
That's I'm big bunch of folks.
I raised my hand. I've shopped on Amazon for this Christmas Christmas shopping. I mean, but one thing that came to mind though is, let's rewind the clock back about a decade, maybe a little bit longer, when Walmart. They were the target of criticism,
and they are still at times.
Yes, but whenever you're number one and you're up there, you draw attention just for that fact. And I'm not saying that negates the concerns of the employees, not at all. Because like Michael said, I've never worked for Amazon, so I can't comment on what they are or are not doing for their employees. But if you take care of your folks, generally they'll take care of you. That's just a general principle of business.
This also says Amazon had to hire 100,000 more people this year. 100,000 more people this year. And a lot of that they're saying has to do with Prime packages, trying to get them out for the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, you weren't a Prime member.
I don't care. I paid my money. Good money.
Well, I'm not debating that, but you didn't pay for the premium service.
Well, yeah, I did, because they said it was free shipping. So it doesn't matter about that.
You're not a Prime member.
I didn't say I was, but I'm still a customer.
Well, again, it makes me wonder if.
And they have been very nice.
They give preferential treatment to. We need to do an experiment.
I keep telling you we're going to.
But
we're not all three here.
We will.
We're going to find the same $10 item.
Yeah.
Buy it at the same time. That is something we're going to do in the next year, by the way.
Maybe next month.
Yeah, we'll try to figure it out.
We'll see who gets it first.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to see who gets it first.
Who ships first?
Ships first and gets first.
Now, if it's delivered within hours of each other on the same day, you have to consider that the same, because
no. If it's the same day, it's not a big deal. No,
because carrier routes with
I'll be
carriers.
honest with you. I'm more interested in who ships first. That's where my theory is.
Okay.
That is my theory.
Because once they pass out the door, they're kind of out of their hands.
Correct, right? And I don't blame them for it. Don't totally agree. That is the shipper's deal. But as I think I said a week ago, and we might have talked about it a little bit, we didn't delve too much into it. But that is one of the things I do want to do, and I told my wife about that the other day. And I'm hoping that we can try to run. And I'm surprised no one else has. They probably have. Somebody probably.
Well, we'll do it ourselves. We'll do our own experiment here. Yeah. But back to Amazon real quick. I know I was defending the employees when I made the statement about, take care of your employees, they'll take care of you. But if they are trying to get these packages out the door, I mean, that takes labor.
Oh yeah,
and that's a huge expense for any company.
Absolutely.
And they expect a certain level of productivity. I mean, so it's a fine line to walk for sure. Anyway,
and then along with this, Amazon, an article from the Wall Street Journal, which I will not read all of, obviously, because I can't get to all of it, but I'm going to just cover the highlights that I found. It's probably a long article as well. Amazon targets unprofitable items with a sharper focus on the bottom line.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Well,
we've heard that before from other retailers.
Shocking. What they're talking about is that they have products that they call CRAP, capital C, capital R, lowercase a, uppercase P. And it is short for can't realize a profit. Now, this is odd to me. This is how the article reads. Think bottled beverages or snack foods. The products tend to be priced at $15 or less, are sold directly by Amazon, and are less heavy and are heavy or bulky and therefore costly to ship.
Well, my experience with that on Amazon, because I've looked at some of the stuff before, just curious. So they sell this on Amazon, and it's like, yeah, they do, but it's the retail price is jacked up versus getting it in a traditional like grocer.
Okay.
And I think they're doing that because of the weight. Because even as a Prime member, I get free shipping, but like it will,
Right.
if it's 10 pounds to ship
Right.
like a 6-pack of some sort of bottled
Yeah.
beverage,
It doesn't look like that's cost effective to do it that way.
Yeah, and I completely get that. Like certain things just are not inducive to that when you're paying for a membership to get free shipping. And like
Right.
I think most people who are Prime members they feel like they get their money's worth out of the free shipping in the year.
You're right.
And there's just some things like bottled water or bottled sodas or anything like that that's liquid. Even laundry detergent to a certain degree, because it's heavy. If you get like the liquid, even the powder, that stuff gets very heavy and the weight gets you because that's how
Sure.
they have to pay for the shipping is by weight.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I mean, yeah, there's a cost to get it to your grocery store.
Right. Oh, sure.
But they're delivering probably a whole pallet of it at a time to the grocery store or wherever you buy that product.
Well, the reason it's so expensive, they're getting Whole Foods to fulfill the
they don't have aspirin.
the product.
That's what Bruce would say.
Speaking of Walmart, another headline: Walmart is testing a robot fry cook named Flippy.
Flippy,
yeah, at its delis. Apparently, Flippy seems like that's one of those robots that they were trying in
flip the
hamburger joint, and
or it was like a food truck with those flipping hamburgers, robotic or something.
Yeah, that's true. But Missio.
So this one's the like fry stuff, like fried chicken.
Misso Robotics' vision behind Flippy was put eyes and brain on an industrial robotic arm that could be found in manufacturing facilities and apply that to a commercial kitchen. That's the idea of what was behind this Flippy. So what they're wanting to do, or what they are doing, I guess I should say, is they're wanting to, it says in practice, a Walmart associate would place a frozen product on the rack using visual recognition technology. Flippy identifies the food in the basket, sets it in the cooking oil. The machine then agitates the basket, shaking it to make sure the product cooks evenly. When the food is finished cooking, Flippy moves the basket to the dip rack. And then an associate at that point would do other things like check the temp of the product if it shows the right temp. Do anything like that before it needs to hit the display. Maybe put on spices or something that might need to.
Yeah, like you get the like the wings there. You fry them and then they have to.
It could be. They said, let's see. They showed right there. Let's see. Right now, it looks like they're doing potato wedges, chicken tenders. Is two of the ones.
Love their chicken
that
tenders.
They're looking at utilizing with this product, and you might find these. It looks like pretty much like an arm with the Walmart logo on it.
Of course.
And then it'll have this little robotic arm on the end that will, basically just move the products in and out.
Well, that frees up an employee to do.
Well, that's
other
what
things.
they said. They believe that this will.
And of course, if you take away somebody's job, well, yeah, I guess you could say that too.
Yeah,
but I still buy them. I use Walmart online grocery pickup, and somebody's for at least today. That's some human has to go pick my order.
Yeah, actually, that's true. So that actually gave somebody else a job.
Yeah, I was talking to one of I frequent the Walmart grocery pickup quite a lot here locally, and talking to one of the employees that brings your stuff out to your car. I've got to know several of them because they recognize them as a repeat customer. And I just asked them, say, well, what time do y'all come in to start pulling these orders? Oh, they come in like at 2 a.m. I'm like, whoa. But it makes sense though, because the store is less busy.
Right.
A lot less busy.
Right.
Based on my experience working night shift in retail.
Well, when the Hey Techies show gets back, we'll have more to talk about. And maybe you'll call in 256-782-5600 and give us your opinion on it. And if my little eye will catch this green dot, we'll have you on Hey Techies show. Be right back. Welcome back into the Hey Techies show. So glad to have everybody here on this December evening, and the guru is spinning the tunes of the Christmas season.
That's
tonight.
right. And if you want to hear more, next Monday night from 7 to 9, the Hey Techies Christmas Extravaganza. Very little talking, a lot of Christmas music.
That's right.
Don't miss it. Unless you're spending time with your family. Of course, we completely understand, but don't want to miss it if you can tune in.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you're listening to the podcast, I'm sorry, you'll have to listen live. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. We were speaking of robots earlier before we
Flippy
broke. Yeah, Flippy before we broke from our break here. And there's a lot of these around, but apparently at UC Berkeley, they have delivery robots that work around campus, and one apparently burst into flames. From what I can tell, they're not sure as to why.
I wonder if it was just going green. I know you cannot stand that.
I don't know about that. It was a hot mess is what it was.
Yeah.
According to this, they're describing the robot as a hero and a legend. Okay.
Hero and a legend.
I know.
Okay.
UK Berkeley students expressed their grief.
It may live in legend from now on, but go ahead.
Expressed their grief on Facebook as news of the fallen Kiwi bot reached the campus community.
The Kiwi bot.
Yes. A Kiwi bot, according to this article, one of the more than 100 robots that deliver food throughout the campus and city, by the way, caught fire outside the Martin Luther King Jr. Student Union. I don't know.
Well, at least was anybody injured from this catching fire?
Not according to what they said.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Footage from the scene shows one person putting out the flames with a fire extinguisher. The fire drew a small crowd of curious onlookers, and videos of the slowly blackening Kiwi bot were soon thereafter uploaded to Facebook. Oh, I'm sorry. Uploaded to Facebook's Overheard at UC Berkeley page.
Oh, I see a picture of the little Kiwi bot.
And they also apparently they also have
caught on fire.
Apparently they also have a vigil.
Oh,
really? Seriously. It's a robot, folks.
It's a small little robot too. There's a picture of actually on fire.
I know, but still.
Again,
I wonder if they
not again, but more than likely the batteries powering this thing are lithium ion. Them things. This ain't the first time we've had a lithium ion battery catch fire unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Remember the hoverboards a couple years ago?
Oh yeah.
It got to the point like they were banned on aircraft because they were so dangerous. I mean, people would ride them, they'd catch on fire while they were riding them. Oh, there's even a video. Here's a
by all means, let's watch that.
This is so entertaining.
Yeah.
No, but at least nobody was hurt. But it's like for those, I know this is a radio show, so you can't.
Well, they can if they go to
but the
robot
probably
the link.
Probably would come, probably not quite to your knees. So maybe.
Oh no, yeah, it would be less than that.
Maybe 18, 24 inches tall off the ground and about that much square. What it looks like. That thing was coming. It was belting out some fire.
Yeah,
so hot it's on fire.
I wonder if it got to cooking the food and as it was delivering it.
I don't know.
I think it just delivers food. Yeah, it's quite the mess, apparently. And
costs $3.80 to have something delivered by Kiwi.
Oh, there you go.
It's designed to handle the last 300 meters of food deliveries.
The last 300.
First, the robot carries a food order from the restaurant's counter to the street, where it's then picked up by a courier on a tricycle. The courier then takes the food delivery to within a few hundred meters of its destination before KiwiBot is used to make it directly to a person's door. Service launched in 2017. As of May of this year, it had made over 10,000 such deliveries with an average delivery time of 27 minutes, according to the company.
Wow. The average.
Yeah, average. So your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Shorter or longer.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, I saw that, thought that was very interesting. about the bot that caught on fire.
So hot it's on fire.
I mentioned earlier in the show, sort of the opening, we were talking about internet taxes and text taxes.
Right.
Well, it has been known for a while that the GAFA tax, okay, that's been nicknamed Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon, has been being bantered around over in Europe. I don't know how long. And apparently some movement has happened today. There is a quote here. Le Marie told the press conference in Paris the tax will be introduced whatever happens on January 1st and will be for the whole of 2019 for the amount that we estimate 500 million euros, which is 570 million US dollars.
Mm.
Now, I don't know if that's per company.
And maybe a sum of all.
But
involved.
if it's per company, Houston, we got a problem. I mean, it don't take no genius to figure out what they're doing. It says here the low tax rates paid by U.S. tech giants in Europe has repeatedly caused anger among voters in many European countries, but the 28-member bloc is divided on how to tackle the issue. Ireland, which hosts the European headquarters of several U.S. tech giants, leads a small group of otherwise mostly Nordic countries that argue that a new tax could lead to reprisals against European companies and stoke angers in the U.S. Really? You think that might happen? Wow. What tipped you off? Seriously? Oh, let's see. Policymakers across the world have difficulty in taxing the U.S.-based giants. Oh, gosh. I mean, the U.S.-based giants who dominate their sectors internationally. But who, let me ask you a question. This frustrates me. Nobody makes anybody use Google. I just don't understand this.
Yeah, there's other ways to search. There's other email products. There's
an
other
offshoot of this.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know that DuckDuckGo finally got Google to relinquish Duck.com? I didn't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yes. That was another story I meant to put in the stack of stuff, but reading this article started the brain turning. Right. It reminded me that DuckDuckGo now has been able to acquire Duck.com.
And back to you don't have to use Google. You don't have to use Facebook either.
No. Or any of these other things.
You don't have to use Apple.
No. You don't.
You have choices.
Yeah. I
know
what consumers
they're after. Consumers are choosing based on what they want. I mean, that can always shift. I mean,
they're after the money pot. That's what this is all about. It's another money grab. I've said it here before, and I'll say it again. It is. It's a total money grab. France and Germany agreed earlier this month to introduce a new joint measure in 2021, which give the Paris-based OECD time to work on a new global solution. Global. We're not a part of them. What do you mean global solution? I mean, France and Germany, well, they can agree to do whatever they want to.
It sounds like they're trying to start some precedent here to, basically charge tariffs on these services entering their country electronically, like you would if you were to charge a tariff on a certain
that's what
a vehicle coming in your country.
Very good, Guru.
I mean, that's it's an electronic tariff in a sense, is what they're wanting. But just like here with internet purchases, if it was back in the day, if you did mail order. Some of our audience like, what's mail order? It's when you'd actually use a catalog and you would like call in or fill out an order form and mail it in with payment and they'd ship it to you. Well, if it was out of state, you didn't have to pay sales tax because that company didn't have a presence in your location. Well, that's starting to change,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but it seems like these countries, are wanting to charge their citizens basically to use these services because they're entering through their borders electronically. I mean, that's just my take on it.
I know that's what that is.
And I think it is a money grab.
Whatever. I mean, here's the thing about it is
that these services the consumer's not paying for either. I mean, there are the product like with Google, but I mean, you're not.
Well, here's the problem I have.
You're not paying for you're not paying out of pocket to use Facebook. You're not paying out of pocket to use Google products.
No,
I mean,
not straight out of pocket for sure.
You're not handing over your money.
I totally agree. We've said that. Yeah. You're handing over other things, but you're not handing over.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway,
currency is not exchanging between you and them.
Correct. No, I totally agree. We're on the same page there. But this is just going to keep going and keep going. I mean, look, Google is going to be Google, Apple, Amazon. What was the other one? Facebook. They're going to be at the whim of whatever they want to decide over those other countries.
Now, Amazon, because of the fact that they're in commerce, trying to sell something to you, whether it's physical,
but surely they're already taxed in some form or fashion.
You would think, because I mean, and you can handle that, and even electronic products like ebooks and music and stuff. You're getting something, and you're paying for it. It's just a mess. It's just a mess.
It'll be what it'll be. I mean, there's nothing more that I don't know what we can do about it.
And if these countries set up shop in your country, these companies
Correct.
set up shop in your country, I mean, there's a place to tax them there because they have employees and stuff. And I mean, but if you do that too much, you may run that company out of your country.
Well, see, they're hoping
these global companies, they can go somewhere else.
Here's the thing. They're hoping that the case will be that the company's already entrenched and they can't afford to leave. They either pay this up or I'm serious.
Well, I mean,
they don't want. It's like anything else. It's like anything else dealing with China. A company they really don't want to lose out on 1 billion or the possibility of 1 billion people.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing. And there's another article related to Google, but we'll get into the second hour.
It can influence future decisions of where to set up shop.
I totally agree, but
definitely that.
Well, I will never say never because I've been burnt by that before. So, and I'm not belaboring the point at all, but I'm just saying that there's no doubt in my mind that somehow or another, they're going to get what they want, no matter what these companies want to do, because they make the rules. They're going to make the rules in these countries.
Yes,
they've got people. Right. Whether good or bad or indifferent, support them in this, and that's what's going to happen. Now, they could fight it to some extent, but I don't think they're going to have much ground. I mean, I don't see the political machine doing anything about it. I mean, over here, I just don't. I don't know.
No,
I don't think so.
I mean, the political machine over here will stay out of it because.
Well, I mean, I don't know whether they will stay out of it. I just think that they're probably going to.
Depending on the state, they may try to tax the texting again or something. I mean, there'll be a social media tax. That'll be the next one. That's the next one that we try.
Like the old song, a rain tax.
Yep.
Tax the rain, which we're getting plenty of.
Blame it on the rain.
Blame it on. Hey, that was a cool song years ago.
Yeah, it was.
Don't even know if it was really sung by those people, but it was a cool song for one time. What to look that one up. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. A bill that would shorten federal sentences for some drug offenses cleared a key procedural hurdle in the Senate today. NPR's Isha Rasco has more.
The next step will be for the Senate to debate the bipartisan bill, which would provide incentives for prisoners to take part in programs that prepare them for life after incarceration. Backers say it will help reduce recidivism. The legislation also ends automatic life sentences under the 3-strike penalty for certain felonies. President Trump has come out in favor of the bill, but some Republicans have continued to oppose the legislation, arguing that it might free violent criminals. The Senate is expected to hold a vote on final passage later this week after it considers amendments offered by some lawmakers. Aisha Roscoe, NPR News, Washington.
Two new reports by private researchers provide the most detailed look yet at Russia's online efforts to influence Americans. As NPR's Ryan Lucas explains, the Russian campaign was extensive.
Russia's influence efforts infected every major social media platform. That's according to a pair of reports compiled at the request of the Senate Intelligence Committee as part of its investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 election. The reports document the activities of a Russian troll farm called the Internet Research Agency. They confirm the major conclusions of the U.S. intelligence community that the Russians wanted to sow discord, hurt Hillary Clinton, and help Donald Trump. The reports show that Russia targeted African Americans at a prolific rate and used the photo sharing platform Instagram more than previously known. They also warn that Russia's efforts to influence Americans online continue. Ryan Lucas, NPR News, Washington.
British Prime Minister Theresa May now says a postponed vote on Britain's plan to leave the European Union, known as Brexit, will take place the week of January 14th. The vote was supposed to have taken place last week, but May canceled it at the last minute when it became clear lawmakers would resoundingly reject it. And speaking to members of Parliament today, the Prime Minister said opponents need to sign off on what she says is not a terrible deal.
I know this is not everyone's perfect deal. It is a compromise. But if we let the perfect be the enemy of the good, then we risk leaving the EU with no deal.
May is apparently hoping a delay might give some time for further concessions to be worked out with the EU, though the bloc has mostly rejected that idea at the moment. Some lawmakers, including those in May's own party, remain opposed to the European exit plan. Wall Street is starting the week with more volatility ahead of a meeting by the Interest Rate Setting Committee of the Federal Reserve, where the body is expected to again raise short-term interest rate targets. Some analysts say the Fed may signal whether it plans to slow or suspend interest rate hikes in 2019 when it meets Wednesday. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 507 points. The Nasdaq closed down 156 points. This is NPR.
Welcome to our
dose
of the Hey Techie Show. So glad to have you here with us this December 17th, and we are enjoying ourselves, the Guru and I, just discussing things.
Yeah.
We'd love for you to call in if you'd like to, 256-782-5600, and to give your 2 cents on the Hey Techie Show,
or your 5 cents, or your
whatever.
$10.
Yeah, whatever
amount you want to give.
Whatever you want to give. And before we ado, though, we've got some tech headlines starting this hour off. iOS 12.1.2 released to the masses today. Apple releases their latest iOS software that is said to have improvements and fixes such as cell connectivity in Turkey, changes related to Qualcomm patents, and eSIM activation for XR and XS handsets. This point-to-point release comes only a week after its beta version. 12.1.2 released to the iPhone product line at this time only. Far out! That's the nickname given to the farthest solar system body ever discovered, and the first spotted by the Subaru 8-meter telescope in Hawaii. 2018 VG18 is considered a pinkish dwarf planet that is located 120 AU from our sun. For a bit of perspective, Pluto is 34 AU, and 1 AU is the distance between Earth and the sun. Moving slowly, it takes an estimated 1,000 years for one orbit around the sun.
And coming back to Earth, Cable One, our local cable provider here in Calhoun County, announced last week that it will be rebranding as Sparklight beginning the summer of 2019. Julie Lauis, I'm sorry about that name, I mispronounced that again. Cable One President CEO says that this change reflects its transformation as a traditional cable company into a full-service provider that connects customers to the things they care about. As part of the rebrand, the company will also be streamlining its residential service, internet service plans, and pricing. Also in the news, the California Public Utilities Commission recently issued a report on the possibility of a text tax. That is a tax on texting. The tax would be in the form of a flat fee added to a monthly bill for cell phone users. Revenue generated from the tax would go towards programs that would make phone service available to low-income residents. The vote was expected in January 2019. However, the scheduled vote has been withdrawn from its January meeting agenda. This came after the Federal Communications Commission declared text messaging to be an information service, not a telecommunications service, and thus not subject to a surcharge under California law. And that is your headlines.
Cool.
And I apologize for butchering the name of Cable One CEO. I'm horrible with names sometimes.
Oh, yeah. They'll get over it.
Easy for you to say.
Hell, I butcher them too sometimes.
Let's do a little. It's a reminder in case you just now joined the show. Next week at this time.
Yes, sir.
Hey Techies Christmas extravaganza. What is a Christmas extravaganza for Hey Techies, you may ask? Well, I won't tell you.
That is a good question, actually.
Well, we're going to less talk and more Christmas music.
There you go. An entire 2 hours.
From 7 to 9 p.m. right here on WLJS. Christmas music and a little bit of us talking. Just a little bit, not much. Just a few minutes here and there. So hope you'll join us. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, I'm sorry it won't be on the podcast. You'll have to listen live 7 to 9 Central on December 24th. And you can actually listen on the internet.
That's correct.
At jsu.edu/radio.
That's right.
So you don't have to be within signal of our FM stations here.
Nope.
So you listen to us online.
That's right. And hope you'll join us.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, we're curating the playlist as we speak, trying to get all the finishing touches on that. So it's going to be, I think it'll be a fantastic, and we may turn it into a tradition here. You never
know. Yeah. Headline: television is still the most dominant media, but more young adults are connecting via internet.
Well, tell me something else I don't know.
Right. Nielsen, they had a Q2 2018 total audience report, and it was published Wednesday. Some of the takeaways from that are this, if I can break it down. It says about 81% across all age groups use a digital device while watching TV.
What was that percent?
81% across all age groups.
Is this Americans or?
I think so.
Okay.
Use a digital device while watching TV. Nielsen found.
I'm one of those.
Says more than 7 in 10 customers, or 71%, uses a digital device while watching TV to look up information on what they're watching. Well, that is definitely what the TV folks are hoping.
I raised my hand again there.
To do that.
Yes, I've done it before. What about that? Go look it up.
More than 4 out of 10, or 41%, send emails, text, or messages about the content.
I've done that too. Not as frequently as the other, but yeah, I can raise my hand to that.
Yeah, let's see. Some of the breakdown here. Adults ages 50 to 64 spent 11 hours and 49 minutes daily on media, with the most of the time spent on live or time-shifted TV, which was 5 hours and 38 minutes, which is not a real surprise. And more than 2 hours each on radio, as well as apps and web content. It also says adults 65 and older, spent the next highest amount of time.
Yeah. Well, that would make sense because most of them are at a point in their lives where they're not working full time.
Right.
So they have more time at their disposal.
And let's see, that 65 plus watched, it says they spent 11 hours and 35 minutes on, let's say this would be devices, TV, any,
like
digital.
Any kind of media.
Or any kind of media.
No matter how it's delivered.
And of that time, it says 6 hours and 55 minutes was TV.
Yeah.
It says, let's see, what is that written right amount of time?
And I would think the younger you get, the less television you're consuming.
That is correct. You're very good. 18 to 34, 25% of the time would be on live or time-shifted TV.
That's 18 to 24?
18 to 34.
18 to 34.
25%. And by the way, the total, I'm going to read them down. The total on all of these.
That's live or time shift. That's not like on demand. You said live or time shift.
shifted, right?
So I'd be watching something like whether it's live
recorded
television or
DVR.
DVR.
Yeah. So that was 25%.
Yeah.
Now, of that, 18 to 34 spent a average of 808.
8 hours a day.
That's what I understand. Let's see,
Wow.
what was that?
I guess you got a lot of folks with time on their hand. I know I don't have that much time on my hands a day.
Well, me either. Yeah, daily on media. Yeah, okay. So
that's an average.
808
average.
media. So
your mileage may
but
vary.
here's what I want to get to. We got a couple of minutes to hear in this. Okay. Do you know that there is one, get this, Guru, in all of these, 18 to 34, okay?
Okay.
35 to 49, 50 to 64,
yeah,
and 64 plus. On every one of these, there's one percentage that is the same on every one, and I am surprised.
Tell me what it is. I'm curious.
App web on a tablet
is
7%.
Well, because everything's now apps. Like
no, think about it. A tablet
on a tablet.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't use a tablet that often.
It's very fascinating, this number. I'm fascinated by this. Think about how many tablets that are sold and what a big market that supposedly is. And it's app and web on a tablet is 7%.
It makes you wonder if that's sustainable, the tablet market in general.
Now think about this. Radio is 17%, 17% on the 1834 and 3549 respectively. And radio is 18% on 50 to 64 and 15% on 65 plus. So all of radio is above 15% on every category.
Define radio.
Well, it doesn't define radio.
Like 91.9 FM.
I understand what you're saying. I don't see that listed. Yeah, I don't see the breakdown on that.
Okay, well, that's it. Some interesting statistics for sure.
Hold on, let me see. Span. They go through different races. Let's see. Let's see. Cord cutting is happening, but majority of households still have traditional cable. 77% down from 81% a year ago. So cable, according to this, has dropped 81% from 81 to 77. Oh, a year over year.
From 81 to
77 year over year, right?
They're the number that
now get this.
The number that
it's dropped. The number of households that have traditional cable methods.
Oh, so that trends continue. Okay.
Yeah, 81 to 77 year over year. According to
that's got to be a concern for any company that provides like cable and satellite.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. These three numbers, in my opinion, is all you really need to know.
Okay.
In my opinion. Internet on a computer, get this. 5% overall over average of all adults. But 18 to 34, 6%. 34, 30, 35, 49 is 6%.
Yeah.
50 to 64 is 5%. 65 plus is 3%.
I can believe that.
Okay, that's internet on a computer.
So it's the older you get, the less likely you're going to use.
So think about this: internet on a computer is like below 6
on a computer, not internet in general.
Correct. Internet on a computer. That's what I'm getting. Is 6%. Okay, but internet app and web on a tablet is 7%. Now the biggest is what you would think it is. What's the biggest? App and web on a smartphone.
Yeah.
31% 18 to 34, 35 to 49 age group, 27%, 19% 50 to 64, and 13% 65 plus. So it falls off.
It falls off, but the reason it falls, it's falling off on both different categories with the same age groups because
now here
those latter year groups they didn't grow up with this.
Now here is where I think they're really getting the cord cutting status a little bit.
Okay.
And that is in TV connected devices. 14% for age 18 to 34, almost double any other category of any other age group. It's 18 to 34 uses that 14% of the 808 that they're on.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other groups are 35 to 49, 8%. I know these numbers are just numbers y'all trying to figure, but see what I'm saying? It's almost double the next group up using a TV connected device.
Mm-hmm.
In the next group, it's double that. So it's down to 4% on the 50 to 64 and 3% on the 65 plus. But the TV is increased on those.
Yes. Yeah. They're consuming their content in traditional means.
Right. And I mean, I totally
And that completely makes sense. When you're using it less with smartphones and tablets, you're consuming it more.
But I got to tell you, the tablet thing is just amazing. That is interesting. That just does not seem to fit the narrative that we understand.
But you got to think the capability in these smartphones now.
I get it.
The screens have gotten larger. The bezels have gotten thinner, which means the screens have gotten large with the same footprint. I mean, look at the iPhone XS.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know, they've packed a screen the size of this 8 Plus in a smaller footprint. You know, so we've seen that trend of larger screens on phones.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the original iPhone compared to this. I mean, that thing's tiny in comparison. You can do a whole lot more with this than you could that smaller screen size.
Well, these numbers are fascinating to me.
I still think a tablet has a purpose, but like well, in my household we have an iPad, but I don't use it.
I actually use mine for entertainment purposes a lot.
I just the one we have, I don't use it at all.
Wow. And I understand that.
But I have a smart TV, so I watch content through it. I watch stuff
and I'll probably
on this a little bit, but a lot of times I'll if I want to watch something off YouTube, I'll cast it through the app on my the smart TV app through my phone.
When we get back, we'll move on to something else. But I thought that was fascinating and kind of want to get it in the show because we cover cord cutting here a little bit, not to the extent of a show that probably just only covers that. But the Hey Techies show will roll right along. Be right back. Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show. And we're here on this lovely December 17th. It was beautiful today, actually. Sun shining. I was glad to see that.
We've had several days of
and we're gonna
gloomy, cloudy weather.
And we're going to have some more. But it is what it is, so we'll just have to live with it. I don't know who's praying for all this, but I'm going to tell them their prayers have been answered. They've got their rain.
Turn the faucet off, please.
They can stop now. So
well, I apologize. If you hear creaking in the background, this chair, the intro of this show is
it's
truthful.
not a joke.
This chair should have been thrown out years ago.
If you can find us some chairs, we'll take them.
Yeah, now I'm trying to do it on cue and it won't. But anyway, so I have one rumor, and it kind of ties in what you're talking about earlier with the before the break about the cord cutting. So Apple has signed an exclusive TV development deal with Justin Lin's Perfect Store Entertainment Company, reports Variety. Justin Lin, if you don't know, which I didn't know either, he is known for directing several of the movies in the Fast and Furious franchise, including the 2009 Fast and Furious revival movie, Fast 5, and Fast and Furious 6. He also directed Star Trek Beyond and has worked on episodes of Community and True Detective. Lin's deal with Apple comes after he spent 6 years working with Sony Pictures Television. His company, Perfect Storm Entertainment, developed several Sony TV shows for CBS, including Scorpion, SWAT, and Magnum PI. In terms of the deal with Apple, Andrew Schneider, who has previously worked with Free Association and Fox 21 Television Studios, will run Perfect Storm Entertainment TV.
Interesting.
Of course, there's no dollar amount here, but this is yet another rumor, another news article. This is news, not rumor.
Right.
But it's building up to the rumor that Apple is getting ready to create this whole. They're going to take Apple Music to the next level. It'll be subscription based, on demand, original content, and maybe some they purchase, license.
Right.
They're going to get into the Netflix.
Oh yeah,
they're going to get into that business. I mean, it's coming.
Well, they're already there in a way, but
they're with
this is going to be a real streaming service.
Yeah, but in a lot of original content, Netflix started that.
Right.
Amazon Prime, they have original content now. I think Hulu has some original content maybe, but Apple is going to get into that business big time. They're going to double down. I mean, they've got the war chest to do it. I mean, they dropped some cash to get this guy to come in to do this.
Oh yeah. Along with that, The Verge has a story that I don't have in our rumors.
Come on now, Bruce.
Notes, but I do have here.
So, are you channeling?
I'm the one that does the notes. What do you care?
I know. I'm just being funny. Go ahead.
Apple hires designer Andrew Kim away from Tesla.
Oh,
yeah. There we go. But do you know what else Andrew Kim has done before he was with Apple? Or it might have been. I guess it was before he was with Apple.
Tesla. You hired him away from Tesla, or they did?
No, they're hiring him away from Tesla. That's true.
But before Tesla?
Well, I don't know about before Tesla. I shouldn't have said it that way. I'm sorry. He is the designer who first rose to prominence with a fan-made reimaging of Microsoft's design language.
Oh.
So one of the theories is, or could be, that it's always been rumored that Apple might be building a car. That was the whole big. It's been rumored for I don't know how long that they get into the car company. Similar to Tesla.
Several years that's been a rumor.
I actually think two other rumors might be more appropriate.
Okay.
And this person picks up on it, by the way, from this Verge article. Is that maybe he is there for his expertise on UI design and maybe something to do with a autonomous, or rather a self-driving software that Apple could sell to car companies.
And they just license that technology.
Right. And or maybe a really good one. Or have something to do with hardware of AR headsets and that type, because he's an expert in these areas.
Okay. That's something Apple's really not into.
Well, they've
not
well, they are too,
Well-
but not in glasses, but
No.
with the iPad, the Pro, in that line. They
Yes.
do AR with that.
but not
So-
like not like HoloLens and not like
No,
the
but-
what's that one? The
But there's
whatever the other one.
But there's other ways to make money in that too. I mean,
Yeah.
you could sell products that would be used in those type. You could sell software or if you hold the patents to something, as Apple has found out recently in China, you have to be very careful about how you use something.
Yeah. I mean, thing is, Apple's got the money,
So-
like I said earlier.
so we can talk.
They can hire these.
Well, yeah,
folks
but
in.
we can, and I had another theory too.
and it could be nothing out of this. I mean,
That's right. And why is that?
because they got the money.
Well,
They got the money to
yes,
drop on it,
but
and it could be years
Okay,
before anything comes to
right.
market.
But there is one way to try to keep things at bay with your competition.
or just hire the talent away.
There you go.
We're gonna pay
Whether
you.
they're going to ever make
We're
it.
gonna pay you to work on this. We don't plan on releasing the product, but we keep you from working for them.
Correct. There you go. That's about as good a reason as I can think of. And I wouldn't doubt that.
And I think Apple is they're working on something with cars and autonomous driving.
I think it's more to do with support and
And
software.
and it may be more in the lines of we're going to license
Service.
we're going to license this technology to an automaker. We're not going to try to make the auto like Elon Musk is with Tesla or these others. We're going to license this over.
Now,
And XYZ car company could adopt Apple's drive technology. whatever you
having
call it.
said that, again, I will reiterate what I've already said this, I think, earlier in the show. I would never say never about any of these companies.
No.
Especially Apple. And who knows what they might come out with. I mean, a lot of what they've done in the past year and a half.
No one ever expected an iPhone from them.
Well,
over 10 years.
yeah.
I mean,
No, that's true, but there's a lot of things they've done with it that you wouldn't expect. I mean, the pencil was unexpected, extremely unexpected.
yeah. Well,
Not that that's comparable to this.
We'll rewind the clock back to when Apple got off PowerPC. They thought, that would never happen.
Yeah, and the question is, will they go back to something similar to that? And I
Yep.
think that's probably a big fat yes in the next year and a half or two,
Yeah.
or maybe a little more, but probably sooner than later would be the theory, the running theory. And that's another rumor that we've talked about here on the show and theorized ourselves about what would happen. Another rumor that's not on the list here, and I do not have an article for it, but it's something we can discuss. I know we've talked and mentioned about the future of bendable devices, foldable phones.
Yes.
We've had the little articles here and there. There's been releases, photos released of, Samsung has one, the F as it's called. Whether or not that'll come to exact fruition, when we'll see it, I don't know. But here's something I thought about. Is this a place that Apple's willing to go? Because I just don't see it. I mean, I got to thinking about this. I mean, I just don't see them doing
Never
this.
say never with Apple.
I know, but
there was times where Steve Jobs was quoted, "We'll never have third-party apps."
no, correct. I realize
What do we
that.
have? What do we have? Third-party apps.
I know, but
We've had them for every year, but the first year of Apple.
they're not
iPhone.
really a follower. I mean, if you could say, some can make the argument, well, they do follow somewhat because they get a piece of software, what have you, that somebody else has been using, and they change it and make it quote unquote better, air quotes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether that'll happen or not, but my point is that I don't see them changing the iPhone in such a way that it's got two screens and foldable.
I'll say this.
That seems like a stretch
To me today, the foldable phone is gimmicky.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
And I currently do not see utility in that.
Okay, so
Yet.
I didn't, but think about this. The little story I had about the 7% tablet.
Yeah.
The foldable phone can be folded to almost a small tablet size.
Yeah, we've said that before.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got your smartphone and your tablet size
Well,
to watch YouTube a little bigger.
Yeah, he's folded out.
Yeah. So I actually can see for oh, well, you won't hear us, but we're being interrupted out on the internet. I mean, you'll hear us on the internet, but you
Yeah.
won't hear us on the terrestrial. Being interrupted with a announcement, I guess. I guess it's a
Oh.
test.
This has been a test of the
have
emergency
to-
alert system.
Yeah. Actually, we don't get to hear that part. So, oh well. Yeah. So anyway, it's just it's just something to think about. I'm just curious to see.
And I'll say this too, talking about things in the past that when they first came out, people thought they were gimmicky,
Right.
but now while you would not build a phone without this front facing camera.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
When the first front facing camera came out, smartphone, why do you want that?
Selfie, man.
But that's before the selfie was a thing.
Well, they made it a thing.
But now it's like if you don't have a forward facing camera, like, oh, I don't want to buy that phone.
Right.
You know, it's getting to the point that, physical buttons on phones are becoming and it all goes back to, at this day and age, does it have utility?
Yeah.
I think the foldable phone is at this point gimmicky.
I totally agree with you.
Here in late 2018. Who's to say what'll happen in the future?
But somebody's going to find it fascinating.
But if Apple can figure out how to sell it, how to market it,
oh yeah,
and people and their customers will buy it, they'll do it.
Yeah, but I do agree that while Apple is they're not going anywhere, and this slowdown in the iPhones, I think sales very temporary. I mean, I think you'll find later on that they look back and numbers are revised and things are probably okay. I've seen them go through these kind of deals before, so I don't expect any big deal about it. But however, having said that, I think though that some of society is going through a phase where that new thing just not a big deal. I mean, they've got a phone that works. They like what they like. If they haven't dropped it or destroyed it, they're really not looking.
Oh, and I'm one of those. Like
I'm
extremely content with the phone I have.
Right. And I think there's a lot of people out there.
I'm not a fan of the lack of Touch ID on new phones.
Understood.
But I'm satisfied with what I've got.
Right.
I have no desire to get a different phone.
Right. And we talked about the show before too, but I do think that there is an aspect to all of this in that there's a percentage that probably large that people are just saying, yeah, that's just not a priority for me right now.
Yeah.
It'd be fun, but it's just not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know I'm there. I like the phone. The phone I have works for what I need it to do. It never does. It's always working for what I need it to do. It's never letting me down unless I wouldn't charge it. And that'd be on my end.
Yeah.
But it's always doing what I need it to do. And so and I'm certainly I'm not one of those with the expendable bank account that you can just go out and say, oh yeah, that looks cool. I'm gonna write that. The Hey Techies show card just does not spin that way.
Yeah.
So, it'd be nice to be able to review the first thing that came out every time, but
that's
not reality.
If any cell phone manufacturers
are
listening,
send us one.
Like send stuff for a review, we're glad to review it. We'll send it back after we're done with it.
But there's so many YouTube reviewers that they don't have to worry about that.
No, we're small fries.
That's okay.
That's fine.
That's okay.
We can stay back and tell you how I feel about you.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, well, that wraps it up for, I guess, rumors.
Yeah, that was a good little rumor segment just to have a few things to talk about. And without Bruce here, it's kind of,
well, you know how he is.
We miss you, Bruce.
No, let's not go that far. I'm just kidding. Hey, Guru, how about this? We were talking about cord cutting.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. What about this? A company, Vitamin Water, by the way, is offering
Aren't they like a Coca-Cola brand? Vitamin
They
Water?
might be.
Anyway, go ahead.
They're offering a sort of like a contest.
Okay.
So here's the contest. $100,000 if you can go without your smartphone for a full year.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, it's called the Scroll Free for a Year contest.
Scroll Free for a year.
Yes. They have it on their website.
A whole year.
Yep. Now,
wow.
Here's how it works. The submissions will be judged based on creativity. You have to explain how you would use your year-long break from your phone.
Okay.
They're going to look at creativity, cultural or brand relevance, humor, the quality of the photo, and captioning. I didn't quite understand how it's written, but
So it's not the fact of you got to go, if you go through this exercise, you win 100,000. It's like,
well, first you've got to get approved to be able to do it. So
Okay.
you got to go through this exercise to see if you're going to be one of the finalists, I guess.
and then the finalists will be like, okay,
Well,
now
Here's
gotta-
the deal. Here's the deal.
okay,
Once you're selected, you have to go the year. Okay, you're going to receive a 1996 era cellular telephone to use,
okay,
just because it will have. This is going without a smartphone, not without phone communication.
yeah. Well, I mean, okay,
All right.
maybe
All
a
right.
little Nokia.
So if
disc
you were to
phone.
go the whole year and pass a lie detector test at the end, you'd get the $100,000. If you can go 6 months, you get 10,000.
Oh, so it's really worth your advantage to go the whole
Right.
time. Even going halfway, you forfeit 90%.
Right. So if some Luddite could really pull this off.
Yeah, I know somebody.
Yeah. I don't know if he'd want to do that now.
I don't know.
I meant to put this on Twitter and I forgot.
We'll still put it on there.
Forgot about that. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, main man.
Hey,
What about
Micah,
this?
Micah, yeah.
So anyway, that's out there.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I saw that. It's very interesting.
It's a great little advertising kind of marketing.
It
thing
is for vitamin water, which
Yeah.
I'm not doing that right
Makes
now.
me want to
by
get
the
some
way.
vitamin water.
No, it doesn't.
This
make
episode not brought to you by.
No, it does not make me want to get any.
Oh, I've had it before. It's pretty good.
It's just water.
It's vitamin water though.
Okay.
Full of
I know some
vitamin.
other people that drink it. Oh, speaking of that, I didn't get dissed today, but I kind of thought I wouldn't say it diss, but you bring up water. Somebody had a bottle of water, and I don't remember if it's vitamin water.
I got
No,
water.
it wasn't. I know what it was. It was Evian.
Oh yeah.
Well, on the side,
Fancy water.
on the side of the label, it had a Snapchat logo.
Oh really?
Yeah. And so I was talking to my friend, and I said, "Oh, hey, look at there! They've even got a Snapchat logo on the side. Must be something to do with Snapchat."
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, I am surprised you knew what Snapchat was." I said, "What?" I said, "What, are you kidding me?
Hey,
of course I know
I
what
host a technology radio show.
Yeah,
I have to keep up with this stuff.
I was like, "Seriously?" I mean, I don't use Snapchat, but I know what it is.
So, what's the age difference between the person saying that and you?
That is a good question. I mean,
What do you estimate?
I'm not sure how old he is. I'd have to
Different generation. Let's put it that
at
way.
least 20 years.
So different generation.
Well, yeah, but still, he knows. I mean, I was surprised that he thought I didn't know what Snapchat was.
He's like, you're just too old to know about this
Yeah,
stuff.
apparently I am, man.
You're stuck in Facebook.
All right.
land.
Well, when the Hey Techies show comes back, we'll have our last segment to go.
Yep.
Of pretty much the live show for the end of 2018.
Oh,
I know. Hey Techies show. Be right back. Welcome back into the last segment of the Hey Techies Show, live anyway, I think, for 2018.
But we'll have a
One more show, that's true.
next Monday night.
That's
the
right.
Hey Techies Christmas extravaganza.
On the 24th.
Let's talk more Christmas music.
Yeah, that should have been the tagline. Let's talk more Christmas music. That's a good point.
And if you don't get to catch us there, we hope you and yours have a wonderful Christmas season and
Absolutely.
Happy New Year.
Absolutely.
Because more than likely, we'll talk to you on the. We'll see you next year, as I would say.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, so
I got something here.
Absolutely, go for it.
This is
go for it
from Ars Technica. We haven't talked about cable companies much. We had some headlines this week about Cable One, but get this headline: CenturyLink blocks its customers' internet access in order to show an ad. You're like, what? Say what? So CenturyLink briefly disabled the internet connections of customers in Utah last week and allowed them to back online only after they acknowledged an offer to purchase filtering software. CenturyLink falsely claimed that it was required to do so by Utah state law that says ISPs must notify customers of, quote, the ability to block material harmful to minors, end quote. And in fact, the new law requires only that ISPs notify customers of their filtering software options in a conspicuous manner. It does not say the ISPs must disable internet access until consumers acknowledge the notification. The law even says that ISPs may make the notification with a consumer's bill. So they don't have to bring it in front of you on your computer connected to that service. They could include it with your bill. They have to by law disclose options they have for filtering, the filtering software to keep certain content, away from minors. And I get that. But coincidentally, CenturyLink's blocking of customer internet access occurred days before the 1-year anniversary of the Federal Communications Commission's repeal of net neutrality rules.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I know.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, so the internet access, this person here, this person was quoted here, a software resident in Utah, Rich Snap tweeted on December 9th that just had CenturyLink block my internet and then inject this page into my browser to advertise their paid filtering software for me. Clicking OK on the notice, then restore my internet. This is not okay. So, I mean, probably not the best way to implement this. I mean, granted, they have to notify customers, but, it's almost like they're almost spamish, in my opinion.
Well,
just from my observations here. But I get the whole reason why the law, and I this is an outsider, don't live in Utah, but I agree with making sure consumers know you have the right to purchase this. You don't have you can purchase this software to, if you're worried about minors and getting access to content they shouldn't. But anyway. So,
well, that's fascinating.
But of course, a lot of people went to Twitter complaining about this and to Reddit. And a CenturyLink spokesperson responded to a query from Utah-based news site KSL.com saying, quote, as a result of the new law, all CenturyLink high-speed internet customers in Utah must acknowledge a pop-up notice which provides information about the availability of filtering software in order to access the internet, end quote. So, and then the bill's sponsor, Tom Wheeler, a Republican state senator, confirmed on Twitter that the law does not require that, and no other ISP has done that to comply with the law.
Oh, there we go.
They were only required to notify customers of options via email or with an invoice. So they could just send an email to them and said, hey, compliant with this, law, this is what your options are if you'd like to do this.
Okay.
ISPs have had all year to comply, and most already have done so, Wheeler continued. For example, AT&T sent the required notice with a monthly invoice. And of course, this is from Ars Technica. They contacted CenturyLink then asked if the company misunderstood the law. In response, CenturyLink spokesperson acknowledged that the law provides several options for compliance, but defended their decision to temporarily block internet access. They're sticking to their guns. Like, this is the way we're doing it, by golly.
I get that, but I just don't see what they think they're getting out of this. I mean, this it's just negative. I mean, look, I understand they might not like the law, and maybe it's their way of fighting it in some way or disagree.
Maybe they're hoping that they're putting this in front of customers that this is they're gonna get a cut of this if you buy this software. I don't know. Like they're trying to make money off of this law.
Well, yeah, but
where if a law is passed to do this, you just need to, of course, follow the law, obviously, but you don't want to do anything to impede a customer's ability to use your service.
Why would you want to?
I mean, like AT&T put it with the bill. I mean, there you go.
Something's a little fishy.
I think they're just trying to, as a money grab from CenturyLink, hoping you will buy that software because there's other internet filtering software. This is not the only thing.
No, of course not.
And there's a somebody took a screenshot of it and posted it somewhere, and it's in this article too from important information about your high-speed internet service. Why are you seeing this page? And it keeps on going.
I really goofed up this week.
Yeah, it's they call it their at ease product with the at symbol is available here. So yeah, they're promoting their own product, not just some random product.
Gotcha.
So maybe that was their hope that people would go buy it. I mean, instead of something else.
Well, it could be.
I mean, that's just my take on it.
Huh.
One thing I noticed, they didn't do a good job with this webpage because it's not. It looks like it's on an iPhone, and it's not very responsive to the screen size. So CenturyLink, you failed at that, my friend.
Well, good job, CenturyLink, on that. All right.
Yeah. This is 2018, almost 2019. There are very easy ways to implement responsive web design.
Well, speaking of web design, I just noticed I have botched the notes this week that I've been working on. I put them in the wrong segments, the wrong sections. I had started our whole thing out with rumors with what the topics to the show. I scrolled down too far. That's hilarious.
So
I can't believe I did that.
Since this is probably the last live show of 2018 for us.
There we go.
Google's revealed 2018's top searches, and Fox News.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure you covered
Fox
that.
News had an article here. Google chooses top trending searches in the world of the past 12 months by looking at what terms had the highest spikes in traffic as compared to the previous year. So it's not just aggregate. You search for this. So it's compared to previous years and stuff. As the years comes to close, Google's list is a recap of sorts of what topics and news events were most fascinating for hundreds of millions of internet users. The global top trending searches list is almost entirely dominated by celebrity deaths. Mac Miller, Andrew Bourdain, Stephen Hawking, Stan Lee, Kate Spade, XXX Tachyon, and Avicii. Don't know those last two, unfortunately. Major events like Hurricane Florence and Michael, the Kavanaugh confirmation hearings, the Mega Millions lottery drawing, the royal wedding, and the government shutdown all made Google's worldwide news list. But the government shutdown, that's NPR is reporting it may or may not happen. But anyway, it's been talked about already. No real surprises on the Google's top trending people search for 2018, which included Markle, Demi Lovato, Sylvester Stallone, Logan Paul, Khloe Kardashian, Stormy Daniels, and Cardi B, whoever that is.
Singer.
Okay. So you tell them out of
Well, I just happen to have heard the name.
Yeah. Films like Black Panther, Deadpool 2, Venom, Avengers Infinity War, and Bohemian Rhapsody topped the Search Giants movies list, while Lovato, Cardi B, Daniel Kobolok, Travis Scott, and Rick Ross were top trending musicians. See, I butcher some of the names because I don't know them. Google also breaks out a range of more specific trend search lists for the United States. So that was kind of worldwide. This is more U.S., including diets dominated by keto, Dubro, Noom, carnivore, and Mediterranean. Fashion brands, Fashion Nova, Louis Vuitton.
Oh yes,
Vrosky, Gavici, and Gucci, and gifts. Fortnite, Default Dance, Dilly Dilly, Orange Justice, and Black Panther.
Well, there you go.
In America, the top news list also includes the Olympic medal count.
Sure.
So that was what Fox News reported recently. Yeah. So It's interesting what Google can get out of that. I mean, it's kind of like a year in review almost. As I read through, that's like I remember that and that and that, and then the
Right.
Olympic medal. Cause that's right, we had the Olympics and earlier this year too. So yeah, how about that? So that was for those that use Google. You have a choice. You can use Bing. Is Alta Vista still a thing?
Sure.
What other Lycos? That used to be a search engine.
Duck-
Yahoo's a search engine.
Duck.com.
Yeah, duck.com now.
Yeah. Instead of duck.
So we've
go.
got 5 minutes here or so left in the show. So, we're out of rumors, but one thing we didn't mention is what predictions for 2019. We did this last year, I believe.
Well, I don't know if we did. I know we did it in years past, but I'm not sure if we.
Anyway,
we did.
but
well, I'm terrible at these, so I'll do my best.
Well,
what do you got?
You go first. I got to think of mine.
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I've given this some thought. I mean, but I'm just. I think tech has become so unpredictable.
I agree with you.
I think, and that's not a cop out, but it just is. It's not like
I think
other things. It's just so wide and
I don't want to be pessimistic, but I think we're going to have another huge hack again with a lot of information get leaked in this next year. That's going to make these others look minor in comparison. It seems like every year we have the next big one. Marriott was a huge one this past year. I hate to be pessimistic, but to be optimistic, I think. I don't know. Try to think here. Apple's gonna make news as always.
Oh, sure.
They'll have some new big product.
Will they be brave again this year? What else could they cut out of a device to be brave?
iPhones will have USB-C this year. I think they will.
Yeah. Well, that was a big rumor this year.
Well, they put it in the iPad Pro.
Yes,
I think they're going USB-C. And yet you've got another drawer of cables that are useless to you that are lightning. You'll be finding USB-C cables.
You could give them away to people that still have an old phone, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or an old iPad.
I think Microsoft is going to continue to dominate in PC hardware. They're going to gain more market share in the cloud. They're not going to be able to overtake Amazon this next year, AWS. But I think Microsoft's they got some momentum behind their hardware they're manufacturing. They're not manufacturing phones anymore, but like the Surface line, I think they're doing really well with that. I think that'll continue to do well. I think Azure and all their cloud services is going to continue to grow in market share over the next year.
Yeah, I mean,
because I think the trend in business is to move to the cloud, and I think businesses are more apt to go to the Microsoft cloud versus other things.
But then that brings a whole nother level of security.
Oh, it does. It does.
That has always been there, but now there's even more pressure upon it.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
And two-factor is going to be even more important going forward.
Yeah, that is true.
And my advice to you is if some service offers two-factor to you, use it. You may not think, I don't need that. Yes, you need that.
Yeah.
What else could we talk? What else?
Well,
I think Tesla's going to get their act together. They're starting to get their act together now, but they're going to get their act together more. And you can see the car manufacturers, like the big ones, like General Motors and stuff, they're having to rethink their strategy with electric vehicles. I think that's going to be more. I think electric vehicles are going to become more.
Oh, sure. You're talking.
It's going to be more of a big deal.
You're talking Bruce's language.
I know. And Bruce will go, yes. Will I own an electric vehicle in 2019? Probably not. Will Bruce? Maybe.
I don't know about that.
He'd probably like to.
Well, sure.
But I think,
like to.
But Tesla still hasn't delivered that $35,000 car yet.
No.
The Model 3 was supposed to be that, but they have yet to get there.
Yeah. It's just not ready for me. I'm fine with hybrid, but I don't like all electric. I need my gas engine.
If they can figure out the battery technology, like I've said, they'll get their act.
Well, I mean, and for some people they have. For some people that don't worry about isn't concerned about those kind of things, they certainly have. Anyway, but the truth of the matter is 2019 is upon us.
It is knocking on our door.
Really, just days away, a couple of weeks away. And it will be here before we know it.
That's right.
And,
Blink an eye, it'll be here.
Yeah, that's true. And the Hey Techie Show, we appreciate you so much for listening to our show this entire year. If you've called in, if you listened, you've sent messages, if you've been a part in any way, we really are appreciative. We can't tell you how much we
Yes.
really appreciate you.
To all
You don't
all the
really
guests that
know.
have come on, and we talked about
Yeah.
Pleasant Valley Robotics earlier. They've been on this year. We've had other
Yes.
folks
That's true.
come on as guests. So
And
thank you.
We're very grateful for that, and we're grateful for the station being able
Yes.
to let us be on. Mike Stedham. Thank you, Mike, and all the people that work here at the station that keep things going. We are very appreciative of them. And it's been a good year for all of us for different reasons. We're all have gone different ways at times, and been here and there and everywhere. But we're able to try to pull a show together every week if we can.
Yeah.
And but we couldn't do it without our listeners, and we appreciate them very much. And so I'm just grateful to be a part of that. So
I am too. I'm thankful to be a part of it, and for Mikey asking me to be a part of it.
Yeah. So, well, here's to another year, and to a future year in coming soon, and we hope to be able to see you on the flip side. Appreciate you very much, as we've said. And look, if you need to know more about the Hey Techie Show, you can at heytechieshow.com. And we would love to have you be a part. And hopefully this next year, if you want to join our show sometime, we would love to have you. From all of us to all of you, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.